Welcome to another edition of Chocobo Chasers. I'm G, and as always, I am joined by the Chocobros, Eric and Dash. How are you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Tired.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Fucking hump day. We've got a pretty good chunk of news. It's been a busy week. Obviously, we had Comic-Con this past weekend, which is exciting from just a nerd perspective in general.
Dr. Doom, baby.
Dr. Doom, RDJ coming back. It's a polarizing subject. I think it's going to be great. Like I think the Russos and Marvel has been kind of just one of those things that's been proven to be pretty much a match made in heaven at this point. So
everybody bitching's going to go see the movie anyways.
Oh, it's like Star Wars content and being shitty. It just goes hand in hand.
Ooh,
too soon, Eric. Too soon. I still haven't watched The Acolyte.
Don't waste your time. It
gets better at the end, but it's a slow burn, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and let's dive right in. We'll go ahead and we'll start the episode off as we normally go ahead and do. What are you playing? I'll go ahead and I'll kick us off this week. And that's actually just because I have only played 3 games this week. I have played so much college football, it's ridiculous. I am on my 4th season with Utah State. We've just won back-to-back championships. I was so close to landing the number 1 overall prospect in recruiting, and fucking Oregon snaked him out from underneath.
Dude, it's an epidemic.
They
Fuck Oregon.
They screwed me when I was trying to get this QB. He was a scrambler at like 89 overall speed, was going to fit my offense just to a T, and they got him at the last second. I did find a new QB, and I think I'm going to get him. He's a 4-star guy, 97 overall speed. We're going to do some insanely dirty things together. Cannot wait. So in addition to college football, obviously, that's probably just going to be one that's part of the rotation for the rest of the year, honestly. I just don't see any other way around that. And then, in addition, played a little bit more Stellar Blade. I'm actually going to play it a lot more this week. I'm hoping to beat it so that I can start to have my second game, because I've just been in full turn your brain off game mode lately. Just started a new job this week, so that's exciting, but also comes, just a lot of learning and all that kind of stuff. Just staring at a screen for 8 hours can be lethargic at times. So, and then in addition to that, I actually decided to get back into Rocket League. It was a game that I've probably put the most time in, I'd say, from like PS4 era onwards. And I am reminded of how much I love it. Man, I really do enjoy it.
Main with the Cybertruck?
No, absolutely not. I use the Octane, which is basically like probably the most common car in the game. It's the one that's on the cover. So just a load of fun. Honestly, I absolutely adore Rocket League. I play competitive. So if you're a Rocket Leaguer, hit me up. Let's play. Dash, what about you, man? What are you playing this week?
All right, I'll knock out the quick ones that I didn't put too much time in first. So, Infection-Free Zone just got its second big update. So went ahead and played a little bit more. I started in China, and I didn't realize this probably because I was playing in like European areas, but when you like play in specific areas, the people that you get for your like zone are actually like have like names and portraits that would be fitting for the area you're in. So like I have a whole bunch of Chinese names that I can't even read because they're all in Chinese characters for all these squad members, and all their portraits are Asian. So I like that little touch that they kind of make it to feel more authentic depending on what area, like what country or place on the map you decide to play. Major things, and one of this was one of my biggest complaints about the game, was when you have a squad in a vehicle and you have them out scavenging, sometimes when they get full, instead of going back to the vehicle to deposit what they have, they go straight towards your headquarters instead. So they added the whole functionality where you can basically assign a vehicle to a squad. They'll always return to it no matter what. So that's one big complaint I can have. Otherwise, not too many more. They added additional types of buildings like bars that can help keep your people happy, and kindergartens that you can use to take care of children, since they had children in the last update. And they also added pole arms as a melee weapon. Because by default, everybody had machetes if they weren't equipped with a weapon. So the pole arm's just a new type of melee weapon, I guess, just if you want to use that instead of having to expend ammo. Moving on, Kingdom Hearts 2 did a little bit more of that. Primarily, it was just trying to beat Lingering Will, which I'm still in the progress of trying to do.
It's been a minute.
And that's going to be my new Valkyrie Queen, I feel like, where I'm going to be able to do everything in this fucking game except for Lingering Will. Which I still have not beaten the Valkyrie Queen in the God of War. That's the only thing stopping me from this platinum.
Sigrun she's fucking tough.
I know.
But man, that's a satisfying boss fight. Like,
I've got her so close that I never got down to that point ever again.
I just got this huge flash of light. So, Dash, you're playing FF10.
Yep, Final Fantasy X. So I left off at the beginning of the Thunder Plains, made my way through the Thunder Plains, made my way through the Macarena forest or whatever, and then did all the butterfly catching bullshit.
Okay.
And then once I got that jet spear, and you unlock all the other jet spears that you can backtrack and go get. So that's what I'm in the progress of doing, because I'd rather get the one in Besaid now than, as we know in the international version, if you go there too late, you're going to be dealing with certain Dark Aeon
4, yeah.
And you are going to get destroyed if you're not prepared.
Yes.
But so, not too much in the Final Fantasy X, but I might dedicate more time, because most of my time has been consumed by these two games, which, like, college football, obviously. So, did a bit more of my Dynasty. I finally got UCF as a top 25 team. Still undefeated, so we're making our way through there. But I also decided to go into doing another Road to Glory, this time as a running back, and I'm having a much better time as a running back than I did as a wide receiver. But I think this game was really built around running, because it just feels so good. And I've seen how broken it can be once you max out the spin, where you can just spin around the whole squad. And that's probably partly on the AI of the tackling, because some of these defensive line AI is horrible, especially like I've been realizing that as I'm playing defense, where like my defensive people like will be right on top of someone and just like stop. It's ridiculous. And that, also when you're playing as a running back, you start to notice how bad some of the blocking AI is, and it gets really frustrating when two people lean you, go to the same person instead of splitting, or just completely ignoring someone that as they run past them. I got these two linemen with fucking stars under them, and they ain't doing jack shit for me out there. So, but I'm up to my junior year as the running back. So I went with Nebraska for this guy. And it's been going, I mean, we're pretty much just been holding like the number 1 and 2 ranking most of the time. Once I got them up to that point, it's hard to keep them winning, because just sometimes when you're sitting there in Super Sim, it just, that lead that you build up just fucking disappears, and it's ridiculous. Like, honestly, put Super Sim in slow-mo and just watch it. It's the amount of time it takes for these teams to march down the field is not realistic. I feel like they're just doing it.
I mean, it is college football. Those guys are like scoring at will sometimes.
Yeah, but when you're dominating them that much for most of the game, and it's like, oh, suddenly they went 80 yards in 10 seconds or some shit. And it's like, okay. But, so being that I think the mask is like Big Ten, right? So as we were talking earlier, fuck Oregon, because we lost the 2 times for our conference championship. It was both against Oregon. We've lost both of those. So I don't. And we also made it to the playoffs in those first 2 years. Got wiped out in the first round by Georgia, who actually went on to win the whole thing. And then I think we made it to the second round in the playoffs the second year, and got taken out by Ohio State. Not much you can do when defense doesn't hold it, and sometimes you're not getting the play time that you probably should. I still don't understand the logic it uses when it determines when you're going to be in the packages or not.
Yeah.
Because I've had times where I'm at injury chance severe, and they're putting me in for like multiple plays in a row. Otherwise, I'll be completely healthy. I'll be getting like 20-yard runs, and then I'll get taken out for the like a whole quarter. So it doesn't make any sense. Like I'm on a hot streak, and you guys take me out of the game for half the play, and then suddenly other team now has caught on because you guys aren't let me get the first downs that we need.
Yeah.
So don't know the logic. Honestly, I think it should probably be looked at. It's probably one of the more unpolished elements. I have encountered probably one of the worst bugs that you'll encounter in Road to Glory, where half the time where you get enough XP to even level up, you don't get your fucking skill point. So, and that's a known issue. I see it all over the Reddit. So I wasn't the only one. I'm not crazy. I doubt they'll fix it anytime soon because I'm hoping EA's not going to go the route like where issues with franchise mode just get ignored because they're just going to be too busy doing Ultimate Team. But we'll see. Otherwise, the biggest game on my week has been Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. Just really been enjoying this game. I'm not sure how much closer I am to beating it. I think maybe I'm over the halfway mark at least. But what I really enjoy about this game so far is that every stage introduces something unique, does something new. Like you'll have stages where you're going through dark caverns, so you have to be lighting lanterns as you're going through. You might have to, there's one on a lake, so you're all on boats, and you just have to protect the boats as you're crossing the lake. There's some that you might, during the night phase, your character is incapacitated, so the only way you can defend the priestess is with the villagers. And then there's the opposite, where you don't get villagers at all, and it's just you by yourself having to guide this goddess down the path. So I love how they just introduce new challenges with every stage, and the boss fights especially start picking up the difficulty as you get further in. So really looking forward to seeing how this game ends and if there's any kind of like end game or new game plus possibly once you reach the end, because I feel like I'm not going to have enough resources to unlock or fully upgrade everything, because I finally got to the point I thought you wouldn't even be able to get to upgrade your character except for like the sword guards and other items that you find. But at a certain point you finally get to start like unlocking like archery and different move sets for your main character. So there is stuff to unlock for him after a while, but I think they want you to focus on upgrading the villagers first, because they're going to be like your main resources, or main defense, I should say, because this is technically a tower defense game. And I always love the tower defense genre because there's so much you can do with it, and they managed to do a really good one with this.
While making something a little bit different, too.
Yep.
So, awesome. And Eric, closing us out.
All right, so I have also been playing College Football 25, started a new dynasty as Michigan State.
Ooh.
One thing I really don't like is that when you get new recruits, you can't change their number.
And we're talking computer-generated players.
Yeah, it's so stupid that you can't do this. So, like, you have a quarterback comes in. I had a lineman wearing number 8, and quarterbacks wearing numbers in the 90s coming in. Like, how stupid is that? Come on, man.
That is a little weird.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's something they're going to patch in. Hopefully, it just it kind of kills some of the immersion a little bit when you can't like edit some of those things off of players when they come in. Kind of goofy, in my opinion.
If they're not the likeness characters, those 11,000.
Let me just make them all 99 overalls and just go to town and pummel everybody. Let me have some fun.
Now, here's the question: is 0 a jersey number?
Yes.
I remember that some people were debating that in the Saints block party.
It's
Discord at one point.
It's wearable, so it's counts.
Wearable, so it's a jersey number. Don't know what else to tell you. But no, so I'm in my first season at Michigan State. It's actually fun going back to because I won 3 straight natties with Colorado, and recruiting became way too easy at one certain point. So it's fun to go back and battle at Michigan over recruits that I always lose because it's kind of funny. Just like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to lose this guy if we're close, and it never fails. I lose him every time. And it's like I went for 4 right guards, lost all of them. Michigan. It's like, Michigan, how many right guards do you need? Like, give me one, please. Please give us a crumb of right guards. So I'm like 3 games away from playoffs. I'm having a lot of fun playing with a team that isn't as good. I am undefeated, and I am the number 1 overall team. So it's been a little bit of a grind. I found myself in shootouts a lot, and the defense is really bad. So is the offensive line. So like playing Oregon was miserable. Playing Alabama was miserable. Playing Ohio State, miserable. No, look, guess what? Miserable.
Yep. Just get that wide receiver in a go route and just
you'll score in 10 seconds every time. It's broken. it kills some of the fun too. So like where I'll keep myself from throwing the bombs.
Yeah.
Just because I know I can score at will.
Yeah, you see that wide receiver one-on-one on the outside, just go for it.
Yeah,
just
if I
heave
see
it up.
blitz, I'm tossing that thing up.
Just heave it up. But I also played some Valorant with the boys. That's just, more not really turn your brain off, but let's just have some fun and let's cut up together. Let's be toxic. We're out here for that. I actually got a beta access to Marvel Rivals, so I got to play that for the last week. I will tell you, it's a lot of fun. It's Overwatch with Marvel characters. And even though I didn't really care for Overwatch that much, I'm still having a blast. There's 3 classes. There's Vanguard, which is more of like your tankier guys who, like, you have Venom, Groot, Doctor Strange. Those are like, there's somebody else I can't think of who else the
Probably
other one
Hulk, right?
No, Penny Parker is another Vanguard, and then you have your strategists, which are like your healers. So you have like Loki, Mantis, Rocket Raccoon, and then there's like 1 or 2 more that I haven't played yet. I don't play healer too much. I'm not very good at it. And you have Duelist, which is Iron Man, Namor, Spider-Man, Hela, Punisher. Punisher's probably the easiest character. I've had some of my best games playing Punisher, but he's a ton of fun. You just unload massive amounts of ammo at people at a distance. Tony Stark's a lot of fun. You get to shoot the laser beams at him, and you can actually do the chest blast.
The
and mow people people down up close. You have ultimates that you build up to by doing damage, and it's a lot of fun to see the ultimates just go off. Like Tony Stark's is just a giant like atom bomb. Some of them throw giant healing things. Punisher gets a giant rocket launcher and minigun on his back that has unlimited ammo until you die or it runs out of timer, so you just lay into people. Scarlet Witch can just do damage to everybody around them. Hela goes up top and you snipe people from above. It's a lot of fun. I'm not sure what the game's going to cost on release, but I think
it's a free to play. Yeah,
it's going to be free to play entirely.
Yeah,
there's no reason that you shouldn't be playing this game. Then it's fun.
Yeah.
If it were $30, I'd buy it. And I don't know if I'd pay $60 full price, but $30 I'd buy in an instant.
I don't think any game of that kind of vein should be like full retail because it's generally just
you can unlock in-game currency just by playing and doing challenges. So I've already purchased skins through playing the game.
So is Punisher your favorite character then so far?
Punisher is the one I've probably done the best with. I think my favorite character might be Hela. She is OP as hell. Like she doesn't move very quickly. The one thing I don't like is the characters don't move very quickly. Like it takes a while to get to the points. The game modes are fun. There's like a domination almost where you have to just dominate the center, and then it's like best of 3 rounds. There's the Overwatch mode where you have to stand by this thing and it moves all the way to the end of a map. Yeah, you get to certain points and it resets the timer. It's even though I didn't get to play it much because the game kind of died out quick. Exo Primal had the same game mode, which was a lot of fun, and shooting all those dinosaurs was a blast.
So Marvel Rivals is getting a pretty strong recommend from Eric then.
Oh, it was a blast.
That's been general consensus on the internet too.
And it's 6-player teams, so like you're not limited to like 3. Like one thing I don't like about Valorant is if you have 4 friends online, you can't play ranked.
Right.
So you have to have a full 5-man team and you have to play with 3. I don't know how it's going to be in Marvel Rivals, but you can play with 6 players. And that's just, if you have a few friends, you can play.
Yeah.
And if you have a lot of friends on, get an Overwatch 2 fucking blows. Apparently, I didn't play the first one, so
I've only played Overwatch 2 actually, and it's not great.
They're going back to the 6v6, which they initially made Overwatch 2, rebalanced everything to make it 5v5. And then, of course,
was
we
Overwatch
know.
166?
Yes.
Oh no shit!
Just
That's a weird change
Just-
then.
They're
Well-
basically walking back everything they've done to set up
Or
Overwatch 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So
It kind of remember Gears of War 1 was 4-player, but then every other one was 5v5, and I just feel like that benefited the Gears multiplayer so much because 5v5 was always a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
I can't wait for
Speaking
any
of-
day.
Speaking of things that Eric likes, there is so we've talked about it a little bit on this show. Xbox has typically like whooped PlayStation in terms of like controller design, and I don't necessarily mean from like a function perspective. I just mean from like a looks perspective, just because Xbox has like their lab where you can literally create custom controllers. But some of the PlayStation like special edition controllers, speak of the devil, like I've literally got my Venom one right here. Eric has got the
I've got the
God of
Spider-Man
War.
and the God of War one.
Yeah,
The
and-
God of War one. Where did I get that?
I don't know. It just magically showed up at his door one day.
It did. Well, the post office.
Yeah, so some same as that Keyblade up there, the one on the very top, and this sword from Final Fantasy X.
Dash
But-
Lazel.
Yeah, it's so the reason I'm bringing this up, Astrobot is getting a new controller, and it is pretty
Sick.
fire.
It's sick.
It is absolute fire. It is going to be, I want to say pre-orders are opening up within the next like 2 or 3 weeks.
I think it's the 5th, I believe. I
Yeah,
could be
I was going
wrong.
to say it's pretty soon, and the controller itself will be launching in September. One thing that's really cool about this controller is that the Astrobot eyes show up on it.
Yeah.
From a looks perspective, I mean, it just looks really clean. So always cool when we get to see more of those things. So
that Concord one looked pretty sick too.
The Conqueror one did look good.
yeah, honestly, they've done a really good job when they have done that. Like the FF16 one was super sick.
Yeah.
The
Ooh,
Hogwarts
yeah, I
Legacy.
The Hogwarts one was clutch, dude. I
It's
wish I could
so
have gotten
sick.
that one.
And then the only
I like-
one that I didn't really like was the LeBron James one.
Yeah.
But
I like the Starfield Xbox controller. I wish I would have gotten that one.
oh yeah, awesome. So in addition to that, we got a little bit more information. So I want to say, I'm trying to remember what showcase this was shown at initially. It actually might have just been separate from any showcase. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is a new game that is being made by Amy Hennig. And so for those who are unaware, Amy Hennig was like a huge person responsible for the creation of the first 3 Uncharted games. So naturally, like there's a ton of hype surrounding this. And in this game, you're going to play as both Captain America and the Black Panther.
T'Challa.
But it's
Yeah,
T'Chaka. It's not
T'Chaka.
T'Challa. And so a lot of hype surrounding this right now. Marvel 1943, one thing that does kind of, and this is not like to say that this is going to be a bad game, just who they kind of chose to go with, is being published by Embracer. And for those who are unaware, Embracer has had a pretty shitty history over the last 12 months in terms of, closures, in terms of just their handling of a pretty like huge acquisition. So it's not great, but again, there's probably limited options when you're doing something like this. And, this is a chance for Embracer to maybe potentially buy back a little bit of good faith. Speaking of layoffs, we literally just got information today that Bungie is laying off a huge part of their workforce. I think it was like 17% or something like that.
220 people.
Yeah, so huge numbers. Our thoughts obviously go out to everybody affected. I tweeted this earlier, but really, what is the benefit of any gaming studio being acquired by a large studio at this point? Like
we haven't
truly,
seen it yet. I mean,
like we saw Microsoft. Obviously, there is the Blizzard Activision acquisition as well as ZeniMax, like the Bethesda acquisition, and they've closed some of those studios, including some that were incredibly successful. Hi-Fi Rush is one of the it was a Game of the Year contender, did win Indie Game of the Year. You've got PlayStation. This is not the first layoff that Bungie has done since they were acquired by PlayStation 2, and that's almost worse. Like they're continually ramping down, and this is after like a pretty successful launch of the final shape for Destiny. It was very well received. I know a ton of people who played it and loved it.
they were top 5 in revenue generated for video games in June.
So it's just shitty, honestly. Like it really sucks.
What did that $3.6 billion go towards? Because when Sony paid that money, that goes to Bungie, I'm assuming, right?
It goes to whoever has stock in Bungie. If they're a privately owned company, then everybody who has equity in it will go ahead and get that. Otherwise, they may have a board. You never know with companies.
Which, of course, the CEO definitely has stock in Bungie
and may have a shit ton, like 20% or something.
He
like
spent
that.
$2.2 million over, I think, like this year or something on classic cars.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to put him in the Bobby Kotick camp because that is just like a special level of shitty human being, but it's not a good thing, obviously.
Yeah.
So, in some more positive news, a game that I didn't get to talk about a ton a while ago because I was actually doing alpha and beta testing for it, got some more information released, which is Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. I got to have a lot of like behind the scenes information about the game, and obviously I can't necessarily dive too much into that, but what I can say is the gameplay is what you see like from the gameplay that they've shown so far is very reflective of the game that I've had a chance to play. And what I've had a chance to play is so fun. What is also exciting, this is going to be one of the September games of the month for PlayStation Plus. So if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you're going to get it for free.
Really?
Yes. And this game, they're expanding this way more than what I had a chance to play. They're adding new stadiums. They're going to add like a much more expanded like character creator. I think that there was a lot more information in the trailer, so I don't necessarily want to assume every single little thing that's going on there. But honestly, it looks really awesome. I really am excited to be able to go ahead and play it again. But again, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you're going to be getting this game for free. So definitely something to go ahead and check out because, obviously, J.K. Rowling aside, Harry Potter is a huge part of, especially people our age, like our upbringing. And I fully respect anyone's decision to not play those games for that reason. I think that is 100% justified. For me, it's separating the creator and this thing that does have like an impact for me. Like, Eric and I talked about it, when Hogwarts Legacy came out, we wanted to be able to experience what it would have been like as a student in Hogwarts. And that was like a really great, like the design of Hogwarts within the school was one of the best and like most accurate adaptations we've seen in gaming like ever. So definitely something to be excited for. So again, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, I think it launches September 3rd, PlayStation 5. Be sure to check it out. Another bit of very exciting news.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our remastered versus remakes episode. One game that we would like to see remastered or remade appears to be on its way. As I mentioned earlier in the show, Comic-Con happened this weekend, and someone who was very keen of the eye happened to snap a photo of a card that said Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. My heart just fluttered. I think my exact message was holy fuck in our Chocobros chat. I cannot. Obviously, this is still like we haven't seen any trailer, we haven't seen any announcement, we haven't even seen anything legitimate yet for this. But they didn't put this out just for nobody to not see it. I think they wanted to maybe potentially gauge hype for anybody who hasn't played Soul Reaver. It is such a cool game. It's such a cool world. It has great characters. Just, oh man, I am so excited by the prospect of it. But we'll have to wait because we do need to go ahead and get an official announcement. So that'll be coming, I think, from Eidos Montreal, who is the parent company who owns that IP, who is also under Embracer. Wah, wah. So
I think a lot of that THQ stuff went to Embracer, didn't it?
yeah, it did. So you've got Tomb Raider, you've got those. There's there's kind of a lot, which sucks, but hopefully we'll see maybe some of these other titles and some of these other IPs maybe, get back into the limelight. So for the last part of the show today, the Olympics are going on. I'm not a super patriotic person, but I definitely feel like pride in America when I'm watching the Olympics because it's like,
Yeah, fuck yeah. We dominate you.
We're
better
doing
than
this.
you, and we know
Like,
it.
I see Simone Biles on the balance beam, and I'm like, I love America.
How funny is it that we did not
this
win
is
in
amazing.
shooting? That other countries beat us in shooting. It's fucking hilarious.
You see that one video with like the North Korean shooter with like that pistol, and she's just like so nonchalantly just shooting
So
it.
they're apparently like not allowed to go ape shit after they do well. Apparently it's like a rule.
You just mean like their country, or just like all of the people there?
I think it's like those shooting competitions like that. They're supposed to just be pretty chill because they've got a gun in their hand, so they're apparently just like
hey, I guess that makes sense.
It's like, hey, don't get fucking wild because
No, that actually makes sense. So the Olympics obviously are going on, and this is the very first Olympics where esports are going to actually be a part of it, which is honestly very insane to think about, especially just thinking like where we were at 15, 20 years ago. It was shameful to be a nerd who was really into video games, and now it's literally part of the fucking Olympics. Like they're going to be giving out a gold medal for, fighting games and Rocket League and like all these other things. So I thought it would be really fun as part of this, good way to end the show here tonight, talking about if we had games that we were going to go ahead and like represent the USA in for the Olympics for the esports, and it doesn't necessarily have to be ones that are actually part of the list right now. What would they be? Dash, I'm actually going to have you go ahead and get us started.
Well, Street Fighter 6 is on the list, and I'm not really a Street Fighter person. I would prefer Tekken 8. I think I have a decent chance of being good at Tekken 8. Probably not like Evo tier, obviously, but Tekken 8's always been like one of those games that I've always, or Tekken overall as a franchise, just me and a bunch of friends, like anytime we hang out, it's just nothing but going back and forth on that. Some of the best people I know at that game, we can go toe to toe on. So I feel confident that if there's any game I could be good at, I feel like I'm above average on a lot of games, but Tekken 8's definitely one of them.
Hell yeah. No, that'd be an awesome one. Eric, what about you, man?
I'm just gonna go with this because one, we're fucking American, and two, you used to play this with me in London. It was the team ups on Madden. We never fucking lost. We used to put people in the dirt. And I think we could do that again.
Good one.
We're taking home gold for God, for country, for everything.
For us.
Gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Man, that is a great one. I had not even thought
about that. We used to beat kids' asses on that when we played. It was people would just quit because we'd go up 3 or 4 scores.
We were dominating, and we'd have anybody could be playing any position too, and we would just absolutely dominate. So that was Madden 23. Just we were unstoppable. For me, I think I'd say Rocket League. It's probably the game I have, like I said, a lot of time into. I'm actually decent at it. I'm not like incredible, but it's definitely something I could potentially maybe work around. If it wasn't going to be that, I would say, man, that is so tough. I'm just gonna stick with that one because if we're getting into maybes, there's a ton of other stuff that are coming up. But no, I think that's awesome. So we've got Rocket League, we've got Tekken, we've got fucking Madden. This is USA, baby. We're greatest in the world.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Gonna save the motherfucking day.
Yeah!
America. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think they're doing so that like it's like a separate thing from the Olympics, but like I think they're doing it next year in Saudi Arabia.
I am definitely going to clip the actual Team America song into our clip here because it's gonna work out perfect. But no, I think that's perfect. I think that's a really solid spot for us to go ahead and end. You guys have anything else that you wanted to touch on just before we go ahead and we dive out of here tonight?
The show started. No, I can't fucking remember.
I gotta love those moments.
Man,
We'll get it next week. That's okay.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Hunt Showdown's getting a massive update. There's
Was
whole
that an
new
update?
maps.
I thought that was a new game.
I think it's going to end up being an update. Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's an update coming, and not a. It's a map being added, but it's a whole bunch of things being added. There's new bosses. It's funny because they're like taking you out of the Louisiana swamps, bro. There's like giant mountains and stone quarries. There's none of that shit here that I'm aware of. There's no
So
fucking
they're moving
mountains.
it to Colorado. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, but it's gonna be awesome. Like I can't wait to play it now. Like I haven't played in a while. It's been a bit.
I've never
but
actually played it.
It's a great.
Our
game,
guy
man.
Doug Cockle's in it. So
I know. He's like the tutorial guy, doesn't he?
He is. Yeah, we talked about that when he was on the pod, I think, or we talked about it beforehand.
Yeah.
But great game, a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure it's on sale. Maybe.
I always heard like stories from my friend who played it. He always raged.
It's $30. Man, $30.
Yeah.
You're getting a very good game.
for a lot of content too. That's and it's so the new map launches August 15th. So
Mhm.
you still got time.
And it's made by Crytek, who made the old Crysis games.
There we go.
Yeah, I think they made the first Far Cry,
They did.
Oh shit.
which was my personal favorite before it became like this open world sandbox kind of
Before it
experience.
became just the
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft template, basically.
Yes.
Now every Ubisoft game is just like a template of Far
Like
Cry.
Far Cry 1 was awesome because like it did have some kind of like decent enemy AI, which is kind of a good topic, honestly.
They made Rise Son of Rome, too.
Oh shit.
But like you get
These
later
are
in the
pretty
game,
good games, actually.
That's $3.50 on Steam right now.
you get
Literally gonna go
later
buy
in the
it right
game
now.
in Far Cry, and then there's like these mutated like monkeys and stuff. The Trigen,
Oh, it's
I
like,
was so
20, it's like
upset.
28 days later.
kind of. I mean,
Speaking
so like
of, they
that
just
wrapped
wrapped
production.
filming on 28 years
Yeah.
later.
They
So-
wrapped production on it. Uh-oh. We're back.
I love those movies.
Me too.
Got some one up there.
All right.
Cool.
That's a great place to stop.
All right.
Got to nerd
Well-
about so much stuff.
Yeah. All right. I am trying to fucking find my Google Chrome. Okay. Perfect. Well, hey, thanks everybody for checking out the show. We obviously appreciate everybody so much for doing so. Also, shout out to my new coworker Carlos who subscribed to us on YouTube. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
Actually, shout out to Saint City and Me. G was just on it for
Yes,
their latest
absolutely.
episode.
Oh my god! Huge shout out, Saint City and Me, one of our affiliate podcasts, obviously along with Saints Block Party. Just had me on this last week. We were actually talking a lot of college football, so be sure to go ahead and check out that on their episode, and we will definitely catch you guys next time. So take care, guys.
Have a good one.
Love y'all.